Hi there, my name is Melissa Casera. I'm a professional screenwriter and publicity strategist, and I help entrepreneurs create obsessed fan bases for their work, leading to more sales, more signups, and more fan mail. So today I want to talk about a topic that I'm asked quite often, which is why is no one reading my email newsletters? Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably send out an email newsletter to your community, but when no one is opening it and reading it, that's a problem, right? And so I want to give you 4 reasons why that might be happening today. So the first one is you might be bleaching out all of your personality. Now, what that means is oftentimes when we sit down to write something, we get really caught up with editing that piece, right? We want it to just sound perfect. But the problem is that when you're editing as you go, or if you're over editing your email newsletter, then suddenly all of your personality is gone. So be mindful of that. Don't strip out your personality. And my suggestion is if you really have a difficult time doing that, I want you to speak whatever you want to say out loud and transcribe it rather than trying to write it. Because oftentimes when we write, we start to strip things out. So just try saying it out loud and see if that helps you keep more of your personality in. Okay? My next tip is you might be selling more than serving. What I mean by that is if every single newsletter that you send out is a sales pitch, that can be really off-putting for a lot of our ideal clients. So instead, start to look at that ratio. I would say maybe for every 2 newsletters, they can be just pure value-based. You're giving advice, you're giving guidance, you're giving support, and then maybe the other 2 can have some type of sales piece. But just try to make sure that you are, having a good ratio going with that not every single piece that you're sending out there is a blatant sales pitch. Which brings me to number 3, which is, are you actually telling stories in your newsletter? Now, a lot of times people get really caught up in just sharing advice, right? So they'll kind of do what I'm doing in today's video, which is 4 reasons why, right? But in an email newsletter format, it's actually more compelling when someone can read a story. So if you are giving advice or guidance or tips like I'm giving today, try to weave in just a short story, even if it's just a few sentences, something that can help visually illustrate what you're trying to say and just make it more compelling than purely giving the tip. And then finally, be mindful if you are making too many requests all at once. So I see this all the time, and here's my story for you. I used to send out a newsletter way back in the day, probably back in 2006 or 2007, and it was just loaded with all kinds of things. I had, where I was speaking and what I was doing, and then I would have these tips and those tips, and it was just this long, ever-flowing thing, and there wasn't one clear point. So the clear point that I want to make for you today is to always have one clear point you want to make in your email newsletter. That's it, just one. Okay, if you have 5 other points you want to make, then split them up into 5 different newsletters. It'll be more digestible and way more compelling for your audience, okay? So those are my 4 tips for you. Now, if you need more support and guidance in writing your email newsletter, I actually have a class. It's called CLICKSANITY, and I will link it right below. And this class is all about helping you to write and create compelling email newsletters that will help people open them, that will make them excited about them, and that will actually convert for you. Because look, that's why we're doing this strategy in the first place. We're in business, we need to profit. And so your newsletter can be an amazing, profitable piece of your business. It actually accounts for 85% of my business. So check out that course. I also have another exciting gift for you that I've created, which is called the I Heart Batching Guide. You can also grab that below. And this is my guide to help you with time batching so that you can get more newsletters done and be laser focused on them. So you can grab that gift for free below. With that said, I hope these tips helped you today in order to create more compelling email newsletters. Thanks for watching.